Okay, any recommendations from council? Have you had a chance to go through everything? Recommendations, council?
Yes, I will start. As I'll just go through them as we have them listed here. Rick Hoppy's receiving $15.50 an hour right now. I would like to see Rick go to $17 at 10% raise. I would like to see Daryl Lamont get a 3% raise, would put him at $15.50. I'd like to see Mark Detterman get a 3% raise, that would put him at $21.85. And I'd like to see Michelle get a 7.5% raise, that would put her at $10.75. And then Robin Corbin, what we discussed in our community center board upstairs is Robin does a lot of work off-site with the phone, with those kind of things at odd hours. And we feel she's not really getting paid all of her hourly wages that, you know, granted she can turn in 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there. How do you ever figure all that out?
Yeah.
Because she's at home sometimes, she's, you know, in the morning sometimes, she's somewhere else sometimes. And we just wanted to, last year, the community building, the last 2 years are $28,000 each year into the savings account that has been used to upkeep the community building. And we feel that we would like to see Robin receive a salary of $15,000 a year because she's been there 2 years and she's an established person. She is the person that is the face of the community building now. Last year she put in about 800 hours. And there's not as many weddings. There's 7 or 8 weddings coming up this year. We feel that she'll be putting in probably more like 1,100 hours this year.
Bookings increased probably?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Weddings usually go every other year.
And so, you know, it's just our recommendation as a community center board, we would like to see Robin receive $15,000 a year as a salary. And that way, you know, she is our employee when she needs to do the things she needs to do, rather than punching in and out of the clock at 10 o'clock at night, or at 8 o'clock at night, or at 6 o'clock in the morning for 15 minutes, or 15 minutes, or 10 minutes.
I guess I gotta be stupid and ask, is she comfortable going to salary versus hourly?
We talked with her, and she felt that that would be a better thing. We still want her to keep track of her hours, too, to see how that's tracking. Last year she received... No, because she does supervise several people, the bartenders. Then we want to keep the bartenders at their wage at where it is, because they work on tips also. And then the last person is the part-time person that we did hire. We did tell him we would review his wage in 90 days. So I'm just throwing that out there to let you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Austin, the part-time guy that we hired. And he's been here about 30 days now. No, I guess it's been 30. So I'm just letting you know that before we have a review with him and see what's up.
John? Questions, concerns? You want to give your thoughts?
No, not yet.
Daryl?
Well, I have one for Robin. Is most of your hours you put in over the weekends?
A lot of them are. Every morning I do get up here and change the sign. Weeknight is usually coming down, securing the building, locking it up after either Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Lions Club, whatever.
I've also asked her to come down and periodically go through the tapes, just to check the security tapes on an annual what did I say, timely basis?
Weekly,
what I talked about.
Yep, and I've been reviewing the tapes on a weekly basis.
Have you pretty much become the community building attendant or whatever you want?
I feel like I have, yes.
How about rec room stuff, do you get involved in that at all?
A little bit. When I watched The Office for Michelle, I did clock in keys and check through that whole system. That would be something I could move into fairly easy, knowing the system, and that would give Michelle a break.
Francis?
I feel pretty comfortable with that there, that Rob has talked about.
Right?
Well, I think that Michelle underpaid at that rate yet. He was looking here at what assistant clerks or whatever in the job she's had to do the last couple of months. And there's been a paper here where some different towns in Iowa, it was running between, 767 to about 2,000 people, what their assistant deputy clerk gets, and it's probably an average of about $15.20 an hour. I was looking more in terms of about 13 and a quarter at least for Michelle. I think that she's grossly underpaid right now for what she's done. Robin, that's a 58% raise, and last year they gave her about a 10 or a 15% raise. It's quite a jump.
Well, and what I'm saying, Ray, is she didn't clock in all her hours.
Yeah,
That's what we're saying, is that, she comes here in the morning, she comes here at night,
yeah,
she comes down here for 5 minutes, sometimes, but you still have to be in town to do that.
yeah.
That's the whole gist of where we're coming from as a board, is that she's pretty much married to the building.
But I looking at how much percentages that's the
Well, I know, and you can, I don't think that you're comparing apples to apples, though.
Yeah,
Because,
Well-
her hours aren't just 9 to 5, right?
yeah,
Her hours are 6 in the morning, 9 at night, Tuesday, Saturday night till 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, then Sunday get up and clean it up, and then go back to a regular job on Monday. Those are the kind of things that we're trying to keep her, she's established herself.
Hey, I'm not hollering that she don't need a raise, I thought that might be a little excessive, that's all.
Well, 2 years, last year, the year before, she made $12,000 to $13,000, getting less money per hour.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to keep her. We want her to keep track of her hours too, still. But I still think that there's a lot of hours that are missed here because.
Hey, I know how that goes, I know that happens.
Yeah, well, she's not the one that owns the business, right?
Yeah.
She's just working for it. And she schedules her bartenders and gets everybody there. This is what we compensated her for our $26,000 in return last year. Is what I'm saying.
And the city got how much of that?
All of it. We gave it to the city in the savings account.
Yeah, I know, but the city's supposed to get back.
How much do you
It's right at $26,000.
Yeah.
And the year before it was $28,000. The place I'm not going to ever say that's going to pay for itself. No, I'll never say that because we don't pay our utilities, we don't pay our snow removal, we don't pay our insurance, anything like that. But the place is generating revenue like the fitness center is, and between the two of them, they generate probably $35,000 a year for the upkeep of the building.
And they're good for the city.
Yeah, and for the upkeep of the buildings, I think that they're maintaining themselves anyway. And I just think that, Robin has taken on more responsibility with taking on some things downstairs here, locking up the door.
Plus increased business.
Yeah, well, this year, I can't promise that every year. I really can't.
I do have two events booked for 2012 already.
And we have some people that are coming back on a regular basis. Stewart Memorial Hospital's coming back on a regular basis. Hallett's had 3 or 4 different things, functions throughout the year, safety meetings, Christmas parties, those kind of things. You know, those people are attest to it. Monsanto has from time to time come around and done meetings because we're centrally located and we do a good job with them.
CPS Retail, don't they do parking meetings up here?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll put my input in. I don't think that's a major increase for Robin, because I think he's also taken on a lot of responsibilities that we weren't asked to do. Plus you're giving up your weekends. You do a job that nobody else would do. So I have a problem with that one. I think Ray makes a point with Michelle. She probably started out underpaid, so not sure what the number should be, but I think it should be a little higher than 1075. Maybe 1175 or something. Well, that's not much of an increase, Darryl, but Rick, I guess my point there is I don't know what kind of person you think we're going to hire. I guess I'd like to hire a financial person more than an administrative person. And I think Rick should be elevated to the, pretty much the city superintendent, or what they're going to call it. And that's the way we kind of used to run the show, and it worked pretty good. And I think for a small town, we should consider to go back to that. So I think Rick's probably have a job description increase and probably a pay increase.
What would you recommend, John?
You gotta be up there around 18 or 19. And Michelle, I don't know, probably 1175. And I think Rollins do it for 15. That's good. Darryl, you said that 3%. I think that's better than the county did.
Yeah,
I think they're mostly they're getting right now. Mark is how much?
3%.
3%.
Well, does council want to narrow Rick and Michelle down to and recommended for Rick anywhere between 17 and 19, and Michelle from 1175 to 13 and a quarter. Mark and Darryl and Rollins are pretty well set in stone as far as what the recommendations have been made. Ready?
I might ask, do you, how much over 40 hours, I'm doing a little calculating, you're not on the 44-hour week anymore, right?
No, we're on 40 hours a week.
And then whatever it takes on weekends.
Snow removal or electrical outages.
Okay.
Or gas leaks, or
Yeah.
anything type of emergency.
And a lot of times we try to get out of here early if we do.
If we do some extra hours, we try, like on Friday, we try like to get out of here an hour or so early, so we try to control some of that overtime somewhat, you know.
Last winter was real bad not to get that, but we couldn't get out.
No, I
basically.
I mean, I just,
Yeah,
We
snow
used to-
removal drove everything up there.
Yeah.
we used to kind of calculate a 44-hour week years ago, and I just wondered if you still had a,
We tried to keep it at 40.
it's pretty much 40 unless there's snow or whatever.
And every third week we get 2 hours from call on the weekend.
Like do rounds on the weekends and stuff.
Okay.
Is that when you check the water and stuff up there too?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Saturdays and Sundays? 2 hours?
We call it call, but basically all you're doing is go down to the water treatment plant out here to make sure everything. We're not actually getting call pay for the whole weekend or whatever. We're just for an hour a day to do that.
Steve,
Yes, sir.
can I make a comment about call duty?
Yes, sir.
Electric people that are required to stay in town, I think there's a Fair Labor Standards Act that dictates you have to pay them something to be on call. If you expect them to be in town, if you require them to be in town, I think there's a Fair Labor Standards law that says you have to pay them some stipend per day.
That's why I said we don't, we call it call, but it actually isn't on call.
So if you're not required to be here, you could leave if you wanted to.
No, we're only required to come in here and do 1 hour's worth of work.
Okay, I'll shut up.
And usually we kind of keep in touch with each other to make sure somebody's going to be around Mark or I.
That's very good of you.
Yeah,
I got a
really
daughter
not
lives in
on
Omaha,
call,
and I go
it's
see her.
just being around to do the round and not protect the weekend. Till something happens, we gotta come in.
No matter where you are.
Yeah.
I guess we're caught between Rick and Michelle as far as
Yeah, I guess that's
the two that we're really concerned with. Everybody else is pretty
I'm
safe.
comfortable with Ray's comments on Michelle.
Whatever, like with Michelle's at 13 and a quarter. Now let's set Rick's in stone. '17th and 19th.
Well, I guess the increase comes with a lot of increased responsibility, but might not be the fact that I'm not human.
more or less.
More or less.
Or you can split the difference, go to 18. I'm going to read them back to you. All right. Huh?
You know what they are, we just don't
Okay.
have any German rich yet.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm comfortable with 18 also.
I am too.
Okay.
I'll be sure.